I just felt compelled to do another video this morning before the amazing Brian Wang video, because that's what everybody's going to be talking about today is Nvidia and all the other folks that are in the big war, the big effort to become number one at AI, to become number one in terms of your total compute, maybe to be number one in total storage, et cetera. So Nvidia is the story. That's what we're going to be talking about with Brian in just a couple of hours. You will want to see that show. So please hit notify. You got to subscribe to do that. Hit notify. Don't miss this show with Brian Wang. Okay. All right. Now, there's a great case to be made that taking a bit of my portfolio and playing Nvidia would have been a very smart move last year, earlier this year, or maybe even last week. They're obviously on a massive tear. In fact, up 78 bucks, as I just looked a few seconds ago. So why not? Why didn't I invest in Nvidia then? Why didn't I invest in Nvidia last week? And why am I still not going to switch not $1 of my portfolio, or even take $100 or $1,000 and throw it at it just for fun? I just spent 15 times that $1,000 on a vacation trip. Why not take another 15,000, just play money and throw it in Nvidia? Because I like to invest in companies where I think I have a knowledge advantage. The businesses that Tesla is in are all well within my understanding as a marketer, as an ex-manufacturer, as an entrepreneur, and as a car fan. I followed the company and Elon Musk for well over a year before I put my first dollar of investment. And after that year or so of study, it became clear to me that he and Tesla had the potential to grow to the moon and beyond. And now I spend over 40 hours a week studying the world of Elon and Tesla and making a decent living from reporting my findings. I'd like it to be more. Hit Patreon if you'd like to help me on that. Anyway, but as an investor, I am as close to all in on the riskier part of my portfolio, and as far as my assets are concerned. So I'm not 100% in. I got like I said, a little play money in ARK Invest. I got a little play money, I forget, in something else. I mean, we're talking about less than $1,000 probably. But my significant investment of risk invested of my portfolio is in Tesla. And some of that is really risky because I've got it in what? I have it in Leaps, which is a type of option. I barely consider what I'm doing to be risky, but the Leaps portion would be, most people would say that's pretty risky. I know almost zero, on the other hand, about Nvidia. Sure, I could dig deep and I could get some understanding of the products, how they provide a USP, of unique selling proposition, how they're differentiated from others. I could learn about the moats that they have and about the competition. But in truth, I don't understand that world at all. It seems to me in some odd way that a really good chip would be good enough for some applications. Maybe I'm completely wrong about that, but do I need to have the very latest next series? I mean, it's kind of like a computer. Okay, my cell phone would be an even better example. I used to trade in my cell phone every other year. I figured that was good enough. This year, I didn't do it in 2 years. I'm going to do it this fall, taking 3 years to do it because my phone is good enough. Well, isn't that also going to be true of these various compute chips that they're making? Not everybody's going to need this next generation. They're going to continue to use the previous generation of ones that they bought. And or if somebody else comes along, a competitor comes along with another chip that is pretty darn good, that and a lot less money because they're willing to work on a lot less margin, aren't people going to scramble to buy some of those because it's good enough for their application? I don't know. I really don't. Now, again, I got Brian Wang on later today explaining it to me and explaining it to you if you watch as to what all that really means and why it's important to have, the latest, greatest. But even after that conversation, it seems to me that a lot of people could make their own, as many of these companies are, the Magnificent Seven, multiple Tesla's definitely, Google, if I remember correctly, maybe Apple are making some of their own chips. Just go on over there to Taiwan, and you can get them to make the silicon, and you can make your own chip. And so, there's people going to do that, and there's other companies that are going to make these. Maybe they won't be as good as NVIDIA's, but maybe they'll be good enough, or maybe they'll be. But the problem is, I'm not going to make the argument that you shouldn't buy NVIDIA. What I'm saying is, I don't know enough, and I don't think I ever will. I don't think if I worked the same 40 hours a week on NVIDIA, that I would be as well informed and have an advantage over other investors like I do on Tesla. So that's kind of how I see it. Now, it's also, in just a plain way, it's hard for me to see NVIDIA doing another 100% increase from here. It's just hard. Now, they're doing a 7% increase today. It could happen. They could go up another 100%, but I don't think so. It doesn't seem like that's what's going to happen. And I don't see many who think they're likely to do so. And anything above 100% increase, it seems absolutely absurd. On the other hand, I think Tesla will go up 1,000% and maybe more. And I'm not alone. There's a whole bunch of people that think that Tesla is going to do a 10-bagger. And they're not dumb people. They're people like Cathie Wood. They're people like Ron Barron. There's a whole bunch of people that think that Tesla will do a 10-bagger from here, and maybe even a lot more than that. I think NVIDIA could drop 30% overnight. And I think Tesla could drop 30% overnight. So I see the risk as being about equal. Well, you might see it completely differently than I do. You might have a degree in computer science. You might be in that world. You might see that you have an advantage in terms of your knowledge, your information compared to everybody else. Or you might just like to gamble a bit of your portfolio and take advantage of this run up and maybe make a buck or two while this craziness is going on. I wouldn't question any of those decisions that you're making. It's absolutely right on. Go for it. I hope you're successful. But for the, looking at the Tesla world, I think there are people that are doing just that, taking a bit, maybe even a big bit of their investment in Tesla, and they're moving it over to NVIDIA. They might be moving it over to Apple, which some people are saying might have a pretty good fall. Some people might be moving it over to Amazon, who's in that fight to become number one in terms of AI and AGI and number one in terms of compute and whatnot. They might be moving it over to Facebook. They might be moving to Alphabet. But that's just not what I'm going to do. So I don't know exactly when the average investor will wake up to Tesla's AI, AGI, Optimus, RoboCab opportunity. I don't know when that's going to happen. There are many, many people, smart people, that think that Tesla is way ahead. The CEO of Nvidia, Jensen Wang, says they're far ahead on the inference chip. They're far ahead on the AGI aspect of this, RoboCab thing. And that's just, and I believe that if he believes that, I believe that. All he has to do is say it, and I believe it. So that's why I haven't switched anything to NVIDIA. In a couple of hours, my video with Brian Wang will be out, and you'll see just how little I know about AI, AGI, and the computer wars. But you'll see how much Brian Wang does know. And I think it's fascinating. And I think you should watch it. I think you should tell your friends about it. After you watch it, put it up on X. Let people know. Send it to friends and say, this is such a big deal. The entire world is hinging right now on this AI AGI revolution. Don't you think so? If you don't think so, let me know in the comments below. But right now, all of these major people that I'm watching and listening to are saying AI is having an impact right now, but it's only a matter of 12 months to 24 months before the embodied aspect will start to be making, and maybe the biggest impact since things like the wheel, the printing press, are bicycles. This is Randy Kirk. It's been great talking to you.